it's families' lives that are truly
Of
devastated. The
course.
numbers really don't get across the human tragedy that really is at the heart of those figures.
For every pound on maternity care, £2.66 is spent on fixing problems caused by that care. How can that be? Let's speak to James Titcombe. He lost his newborn son in 2008 owing to failure in his care at Morecambe Bay Trust. He is the ambassador of Baby Lifeline, who are behind this research, and an advocate for patient safety. Morning to you, James.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
You're very welcome. Did this figure come as any kind of surprise to you?
To be honest, not really, and that's I think because I'm so familiar with the issues. But I absolutely understand that for the general public to realise that fact is deeply shocking, and yeah, it really underpins why we've got to do a lot more. I think to help prevent these things from happening in the first place.
And is it as simple as saying, well, hang on a sec, why not just care better for mothers and babies and their families rather than trying to fix things after they've happened? It sounds obvious, but is that as simple as it is?
Well, it's not simple, and it's not simple because we've been trying to do this for a long time. So my son died in 2008, and we had a major national inquiry that followed that, called the Morecambe Bay investigation, that published in 2015, and that made a number of recommendations. But sadly, we've seen more recently more inquiries. So we saw Shrewsbury and Telford a couple of years ago, and last year we saw the East Kent report. And the shocking thing is the themes are repeating. So whatever it is we need to do, it's not simple, and we're simply not making the changes that we need to make.
And is it the same changes, broadly speaking, that are recommended again and again in these reports? And if so, what's stopping them from being implemented?
Well, the frustrating thing is that the themes are very similar. So culture is a major issue. We seem to have a problem in maternity services where teams, so multi-professional teams, don't always work together. Spotting problems, listening to women and families, that's a huge common theme that comes across time and time again. So I think we do need to step back and have a little bit of an analysis on why is it that we've got these recommendations time and time again and we're not making the changes we need to make. Undoubtedly, my view is that some of that does come down to investment.
Mm.
The shocking thing is that, I've worked this out. It's £258 a second. Those figures you quoted come to every
Yes.
second. We're spending that much money on compensating families for when things go wrong. The charity I work with, Baby Lifeline, run training courses for midwives, and sometimes we get midwives who have taken a day off work. They've paid out their own pocket to attend training that they need to kind of carry out their job safely. How can that make sense if we're not giving people the training and the support they need to provide safe care, when we're prepared to pay those kind of outrageous figures on compensating people for when things go wrong?
Just briefly, because I know you have to go. This government is very keen on kind of facts and figures. Do you think that these kind of stark figures about, well, basically, I suppose what's not value for money will make a difference?
I hope so. I hope the recognition is that, if we spent a fraction of that £8.16 billion, if we spent £1 billion on investing in improving maternity safety, that could be transformational. I haven't done the maths, but we could work out how many midwives that could employ, how many extra midwives, how many extra doctors, how much training, how much support to the units that are struggling, by helping them improve, and sending specialist teams perhaps to share the learning from the best units that are really getting this right. I think we could transform maternity safety just by spending a fraction of what we're currently spending on harm. And let's not forget those figures behind that 8.16 billion. It's families' lives that are truly
Of
devastated. The
course.
numbers really don't get across the human tragedy that really is at the heart of those figures.
And if you like that,
You can listen to us,
we're sticking asthma. Have you forgotten?
well done, every Monday to Thursday on Times Radio Breakfast.